do we get to see more of you?
I hope so. I mean, we left everything open for possibility, so I don't see why not, but we'll see.
13 Reasons Why was recently renewed for a season 2, and now the first real details about the upcoming season have been released. Hey there, you lovely people. Welcome back to my cheat sheet where I'm breaking down some of the news that I actually care about for you in case you happen to care too. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, 13 Reasons Why has been the hot show at the moment. You kind of gathered because I keep talking about it on my channel, other news outlets keep talking about it. So yeah, it's pretty popular. The series recently got a season 2 pickup, and now everyone is just curious what exactly will happen in season 2 and how will Hannah Baker fit into that storyline now that she is, spoiler alert, taking her own life. Well, buckle up because this video might be a tad bit long. The cast recently did some interviews at the Netflix For Your Consideration event where they revealed that they actually don't know too much yet about what will happen, but here's a few highlights from what they told Access Hollywood.
You know,
She's in season 2.
We'll see. If they ask me back, I would be very excited, but we'll see.
Yeah, I want to see some smiles on people's faces, you know what I mean? Which probably won't happen, but it'll be great.
I just hope, you see Jessica recover, like her road to recovery is the most. I'm really excited to explore that side of her.
Do you know if you're going to be back for season 2? Obviously, there's a huge cliffhanger involving Alex.
I actually have no idea, and I've seen some of the writers, and they're all so coy with me. I have no idea. I really hope so. I would love to. I think that there's still so much to tell and so many stories and characters that people have grown to really like, so I'm excited about it.
Well, we for sure do know that Katherine Langford will in fact be back for season 2, even though she was playing a little bit coy. I agree with Alicia that justice for Jessica needs to happen. I need Jeff to come back in some form or fashion in a flashback, and I definitely want to see Miles back as Alex. Now, when it comes to who really has these answers about season 2, look no further than the writer and showrunner Brian Yorkey. He recently opened up to Entertainment Weekly to reveal basically everything we need to know so far, so here are some highlights from that interview. Brian told Entertainment Weekly that he knew he wanted a season 2 by the time season 1 finished filming, which would have meant even before the show premiered for us. He said, "I think that there is so much that's fascinating about the way we grieve, the way we recover, the way we learn to take better care of each other." I feel like that's a little rhyme going on there. Now, when people say, yeah, but we heard all of Hannah's tapes, isn't this story done? There was only one book. Brian responded saying, "For every tape, there's another person who has a story, which is the person Hannah mentions on her tape. We saw Hannah's versions of the events unfold, but there's a lot more to be told about those characters." This is very, very true. For example, those that are like, why did Zach have that letter still if Hannah said he threw it out on her tape? And that's just one example of this. We saw Hannah watch Zach throw a piece of paper on the ground, step on it, walk away, but Hannah also walked away after seeing this, so really, she never would have known if Zach came back to pick up that note, or maybe if someone else picked it up and gave it to him because it has a name on it. Basically, there's always two sides to every story. Season 2 is going to pick up a number of months after the first season ended, and well, if you watched the last episode, we know the depositions that the kids were giving were happening actually like in the future. I believe it said around November 2017 or something on the timestamp. So that definitely already allows them to skip ahead months. Brian also confirmed that Hannah, played by Katherine Langford, will absolutely be in season 2, which is good news because I think she is such a great young actress. Season 2 will explore the trial. It seems like it's going to explore its effect on the other kids and what other secrets they will uncover in this whole process. Brian said, "That's going to take us into the past, into Hannah's story. We're going to get some new context for events we already know about, and we're going to see a lot of things we hadn't even heard about yet that fill in some really interesting gaps in our understanding of who Hannah Baker was and what her life was." Okay, now that sounds intriguing, definitely, because I was a little skeptical, like, how are they really gonna make this work? Are they gonna focus on one of the other characters? Seems like it's gonna be focused on all the characters, just like kind of the first season was. Season 2 of 13 Reasons Why will also still have the multiple timelines of the past and the present, obviously, since Hannah will be a part of season 2, just like she was in season 1, and voiceover will also be a part of every episode. However, it will no longer be Hannah's voiceover, but it will still be a tool that weaves the time frames together. So now, what about all those big cliffhangers we were left with in season 1, and what's gonna happen to Bryce? We're going to answer all the burning questions that people have about the show, Brian told Entertainment Weekly. Is Tyler going to do something? What's going to happen to Alex? Will Bryce be brought to justice? We're going to answer those questions, but I think even more, we're going to continue to look very truthfully and very honestly at what they go through, even when it's painful at times. As they begin to emerge from this very dark time, there's hope, and there is some light to be found. Alright, so maybe Dylan will be getting those smiles after all. Brian also explained that Jessica is just at the beginning of her process of recovery with everything that's happened with her rape, and he wants to do Jessica's story the justice it deserves, and he also said what we were all thinking. I want to see somebody punch Bryce in the face. Okay, I'm gonna say that Bryce needs a lot worse than that though, right? Now the last burning question you've probably had, and maybe are wondering about how it might fit into season 2, is the use of the cassette tapes. Will those still be used? Now that was obviously a huge part of the original book and season 1, and honestly was kind of part of the draw for me because I thought it was something different. Well, it seems like in season 2, a new technology will take over. Brian Yorkey explained to Entertainment Weekly, there is a different sort of analog technology that plays a hugely important role in season 2. So the cassette tapes aren't at the center of it. Those 2 boxes of tapes are still hanging around and matter to people, but there will be a new piece of technology for 13-year-olds to Google and try to understand what it was. So what are we going back to, like 8 tracks or vinyl or something like that? That's the only kind of things that I can think of. I feel like kids though these days know what vinyl is now, especially if they've ever set foot into an Urban Outfitters. Still, I'm kind of curious now. I think that's gonna be pretty interesting. Okay, so hopefully those are enough 13 Reasons Why Season 2 tidbits to hold you off until Season 2 comes to Netflix in 2018. I know that seems like a whiles away, but it took Season 1 6.5 months to film, so I'm guessing the cast will go back to work in maybe a month or 2, and yeah, so basically patience, Lisa, patience. Patience for all of us. So what did you think of these teases for Season 2? Is there a certain character or storyline you really hope gets brought to the forefront? What cliffhanger do you want answered the most? Leave me all your thoughts below and then click right over here to see the cast at the 2017 MTV Movie and TV Awards or a sneak peek of Maze Runner The Death Cure courtesy of Dylan O'Brien. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell for notifications because I like talking about 13 Reasons Why. And as always, I'm Lisa. Peace out for now.